Hey everybody, today we're talking about B.P.R.D. Omnibus Volume 3. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're talking more B.P.R.D. after a long time of not reading B.P.R.D. A couple months. It basically went on an invincible kick as far as independents go. But now we're back on B.P.R.D. This is Omnibus Volume 3, and this contains 3 different trade paperbacks. I wish they told you on the back. Like, the back is the same every single time. But the stories in here are as follows: The Universal Machine, Garden of Souls, and Killing Ground. So basically we're picking up where we left off at the end of Volume 2 and getting to a little bit more backstory on Abe Sapien and where he came from, as well as Johann Kraus getting a new body in one of these stories, which is kind of not explained. Like, you see this bigger dude and you're like, they're talking to him like it's Johann, and you're assuming it is, and it's not until later that they actually spell out like, hey, yeah, Johann got a new body because of this adventure and that sort of thing. And he, so he's there for a little bit in the middle story, but he's still here. This is also where we are introduced to Captain Daimo's mutation as far as turning into like a giant jaguar god kind of thing. I knew that was coming because I'd seen the third Hellboy movie with the guy from Stranger Things. And I thought, how's this going to get introduced? But it's kind of a big mystery now. Like, we found out how he got it, but he's not in control yet. So he's still kind of like a werewolf version of himself when he's this jaguar monster. And then we have another, not a Yeti, a Wendigo running around at the end of this Volume 2. So there's a lot of threads that are set up here to kind of go into Volume 4, which I think is the last of the Plague of Frogs volumes, I believe, in terms of like overall storyline. And then we move into the next overall storyline across B.P.R.D., I think in Volume 5, if I'm not mistaken. So, just a quick little review. I had fun here. There's nothing to rave about in these stories. They're all very good. They're all entertaining. Guy Davis's art is, I like it. I think if you're not into these like scratchy art styles or Mike Mignola kind of stuff, it's going to take some time to grow on you, but it's so consistent that I'm learning to love it. So I've always kind of liked Mignola and so, consistent art styles, as long as I don't know. I sometimes I think I prefer these kind of weird, scratchy, cartoony art styles as opposed to the overly anime art styles that turn me off a little bit. So I'm really digging Guy Davis here doing the artwork, and you can't count out John Arcudi, doing a lot of the heavy lifting on the writing here, as well as Mike Mignola. So they're kind of teaming up on the scripts and plots and everything else. So there's some fun new characters here. I think the Abe Sapien storyline here, the Forever Machine, I believe it's called, was the most interesting one, where you get that's Garden of Souls is what this is. And I thought that was the most interesting one, where you have Abe meet like his old contemporaries when he was a human, and they're now kind of all living in these big robot bodies, and you learn the things that the no good things that they were up to. And Abe kind of, he got saved basically by evolving into this fish man. He's not the person he was, so that's kind of a weird, it's a cool character arc for Abe to go through that and to realize that he is, just a fresh person kind of thing. Like he's ashamed of his past, but he's also trying to own it a little bit. So I think that's an interesting arc for a character. Liz is still kind of sidelined here. She's having a lot of visions, and I still feel like we don't really know her. You know what I mean? She's always on the side. It's usually Abe and Johann. Now that Roger's out of the picture, they're in Captain Daimo going on adventures. Liz is kind of sidelined. So I'm like, if Liz is such a big main character, why is she sidelined all the time with kind of doing nothing? So that's a little bit of a downer here in this volume. But overall, I'd recommend it. If you liked Volume 1 and 2, this is definitely more of the same. Volume 1 was a little bit more of a scattershot because you had different writers doing B.P.R.D. stuff. But if you liked Volume 2, you're going to like Volume 3. It's just nothing to rave home about, or say you have to read this book or anything like that yet. So hopefully we'll get there. We will see in future volumes. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of B.P.R.D. Omnibus Volume 3 down in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time in the funny pages.